Hey, how's it going, everybody? Past 2 days on the YouTube, we ended up doing tier lists and breaking down all the RLCS roster changes that went down in NA and EU. But don't worry, I didn't forget about the expansion regions or all the other minor regions. We've got you covered. In today's video, we're going to break down all of the other regions that are not NA and EU in one consolidated video. Why South America is so absolutely stacked. Two mainstays that are continuing to get stronger in Mena, and all the other factors that come with it. So if you guys want to make sure you don't miss out on this stuff in the future, like, subscribe, notifications. With that, let's get straight into these and crush through these to the best of our ability. As always, in the description above, you can click the link. It'll bring you to this document. I will try to do my best to update you guys on these as well. Eventually, we're going to take an average and give them ranks as well throughout the season, so you can see which team is performing the best throughout the season. For some of these other minor regions as well, we will end up throwing in other teams. Because there's so many unique rosters that are signing up, there's teams from like Europe that are signing up for SSA and stuff like that. We'll put in the best performing teams in that. This is to track the best of the best. South America, up first, we got Ninjas in Pajamas, which is going to be Astro, Knight, and Swift. Their big change is that Knight is coming over from Team Secret. Super competitive, and I guess I can pull those up for you guys too while we're doing this. In my opinion, like 6 really solid teams in South America this year. I think overall, like, it has gotten so strong for a couple of reasons. One, both Furia and Complexity are back in South America going to compete. So that's strengthening there. Last season, you also had NIP, which was the top performer, right? NIP looked really, really good towards the tail end, but I think Crew, in my opinion, was probably the better team. Obviously, Crew, Team Secret was competitive. Those three were only a difference of 7 points in the rankings. You can kind of see it here. From Secret to NIP, it was 7-point difference. Every single regional in South America came down to like, it's a regional 3 qualification. Winner of this event gets to go to the major. It was insane. Era's pretty solid. W7M is pretty solid as well. We've seen some mixings up. True Neutral strengthened their roster a little bit better as well. But we're going to wait to see how some of those play out. As for Crew, Crew has basically made a super team. AJG got booted off of Complexity, which is an absolute sham. I think AJG is a very good fundamental player, understands the field, knows when and when not to challenge. Very similar to why I praise Reveal so much. You're seeing players like Tao, Rise understands it, but like AJG is a good player. He had one missed open net. It happens to the best of them, but we still don't know the reason why he was exactly let go. Either way, Complexity, really, really solid. But AJG is being booted off that team and is now joining Crew alongside Bems, who used to be on that NIP team, and Card of Furia as well. So I am very excited to see how this team ends up playing out. I think this is a new super team. Crew is putting in a lot of money to their organization. They've got some good financial backing. They've got Messi as well as Aguero, I think it is the two founding co-partners for the ownership. So like Crew's got some really good opportunities to do some cool stuff with their reach. Hopefully it goes well, but I think that team's got pretty good potential. Up next, we got Team Secret, KV1, obviously the tried and true, sticking the same. And then they're bringing over Mota from NIP, again, the team that was first last season. And then Brad from Crew, which was second. So another really strong powerhouse team. We then look at Furia, and Furia strengthened rosters. Lost and Jan are staying the same. And they're bringing in Jerfinho from Crew, who I thought was the best player on Crew at one point as well. So Furia got even stronger. Furia has also been perfect during the offseason. They have won all 3 offseason tournaments for South America. They look perfect. They have not lost. They look really, really good. You also see Complexity coming back to South America. We haven't seen Complexity actually finalize their roster yet. Razebull and CRR are the same. They let go of AJG. The rumors right now are that they're going to bring in Dorito from G1, who used to play in Europe. So CRR and Dorito, potentially both European imports, to join Razebull. Could be interesting, but Furia and Complexity going back to South America really strengthens that region. I think South America is going to be so fun to watch this season. It's going to be brutal. We've also got Hero Base, which is kind of a amalgamation of leftovers from Crew, Team Secret, and Not Exposed. You've got Drops coming over from Crew, Sad coming over from Team Secret, and then Klaus coming over from Not Exposed along with their coach, Pedro. And then last but not least, we got W7M, Diaz, who is a rookie, who we've seen a lot in the 1v1 scene, doing some really good things. And then they're keeping Royals and Wisty as well. Tander, obviously former pro, is their coach still. So Diaz is going to be the one to pay attention to. Curious to see if the rookie can step on up. So that's South America. Let's go over to Oceania. We've got Power Pioneers and Ground Zero. Ground Zero took a major step back, in my opinion, because they consolidated all of the players from Power Pioneers and Ground Zero into two super teams. On Power, you've got Banana Head, Fever, and Torsos. Banana Head is coming over from Power. And then Pioneers got Amphis from Power, Fiber from Ground Zero, and then Scrub is staying the same. So a lot of talent on Power and Pioneers. Expect those two to be the top two. Ground Zero did pick up a brand new roster with Shaman Esports' Baz, Gremlins from Prompt from Gremlins, and then Laxon from Dumb Luck. I'm very interested to see if this roster can really stand up, because these are the mainstays. These are the names that everybody knows. Probably going to be leagues ahead. Pretty common for OCE. They usually have two really, really strong powerhouses, and they basically took the points from here and siphoned them into these two. So we'll see how it goes. Last but not least, for OCE as well, we've got the Gospel of Locky. Shout outs to chat for bringing this one up. Super Locky has brought a team that is very egotistical with his name. I assume it's just a placeholder. They've been winning some offseason tournaments. We looked up the results, and they did pretty good in the gauntlets. Second, third, first, second, third, fourth. So they have been playing relatively well. Rightfully so. Hunter, ex-Pioneers. Hunter's that young gun that came in. Nice kid. Super Locky, who's not bad off of Ground Zero. And then Gus from Merge Esports. We'll see how they play out, but maybe we've got a three-headed race. I would like to see so. I would assume Super Locky and Hunter could do something, and results are proving. So their losses are coming from Power, Pioneers, and then Gremlins once in the quarterfinals. So maybe Gremlins, another team to pay attention to instead of Ground Zero. Next, we got APAC. APAC is going to be interesting. Again, the combination of both regions into one. LBP is the coach. Nice. Love that. Learning more and more. We love LBP. APAC, we've got basically two teams. Gaming Gladiators and Elevate. I would assume Detonator is keeping most of the same. Gaming Gladiators is a consolidation of the former Elevate roster. It was basically, hey, if we can't beat them, join them. So they took basically 2/3 of Gaming Gladiators. Kind of. Maxu, who is the origin. And then they took Realize and Virtuoso from Elevate. And was like, yoink, we're taking that. So Elevate is technically keeping 2/3. They got rid of Kami. They're now bringing in Maxu. And then they're keeping the Gaming Gladiators name, which makes sense because Gaming Gladiators, shout out to that organization, has been doing some really, really good things. I think it's Nick, I think, is their founder. They've been really solid about the way that they're approaching things. Marky Duda staying on as coach. As for Elevate, LCT, who used to be on Gladiators, is now on Elevate, and he is going with Kevin and Sphinx. Sphinx is a young rookie, very, very talented, good mechanics. Kevin used to be on 3 Rats. It was LCT, Kevin, and Trill as their coach. Those guys basically got picked up by Elevate and brought in a new third. So should be a lot of talent here for the Elevate roster. But Sphinx doesn't even have a Liquipedia yet. So cool to see there. And then for Detonator, Burn, who's the mainstay, is being paired with J-Box from Infinity with their coach Yumu, and Nai, who is also a rookie. Should be fun to watch. Up next for Mena. 2 main teams as always, but you cannot count out Twisted Minds. Falcons completely rebuilt. They took 2/3. The Twins left Rule 1 for Wasson Clears. They are now on Falcons paired with TRK, who I think is a stud. Should be a really good team. Rule 1 decided to Incivic went back to his roots with Sandrock Gaming, and he's like, put it back together. We're going to take Ahmad and O'Khalid. We're going to put him on a team again, and we're going to pair it with the kid that everybody wanted before he got banned for a year, Nupo or Nobo, or however you say his name. Also, shout outs to Waving the Boys for TSM. Happy they got signed and it's official. But yeah, that Rule 1 team, I think we were a little nervous after they lost the Twins. A lot of potential still. I actually really like that roster. I like what Incivic and the guys are trying to do over at Rule 1. Last but not least, we got Twisted Minds. Twisted Minds actually has a 4-person roster. Their sub is actually Talam, T7LM, who's also very talented. There's a chance that one of their players isn't able to compete due to personal reasons. But their starting roster is Mawson, who used to be on Rule 1, Senzo, and SMW. SMW used to be with Senzo on Vision Esports along with their coach. So that is what we got for the 3 main Mena rosters, but most people are going to pay attention to Falcons in Rule 1. I expect them to go toe-to-toe and try to fight. But 2 Mena spots now. No longer with wildcards, 2 guaranteed Mena spots. So expect these 3 to be in a 3-horse race to see who ends up going through. Up next, last but not least, we have SSA, and SSA is kind of the weird one. Right now we have Limitless, which is pretty much the same team. To Die For and Snowy, you guys should know, one of the older players in the roster, or in RLCS altogether. The difference, though, is they've brought in Sweaty Clarence, what a name, from X Valiant, and then Nox is still their coach. And then White Rabbit Gaming was one of the only few rosters that actually had like a finalized. They finished 5th last season, as you guys can see over here. There's no more Valiant. There's no more Orlando Pirates. Nixa didn't have a finalized roster yet when I looked it up. So SSA seems to be a lot of third-party teams coming from different regions. We will end up updating this in the future about the best performing teams, usually like a top 3, top 5, depending on what it is. I assume we're only going to do a handful at most, just because it is based upon the amount of spots. There's only one that gets to go to the major, so it's tough to do people that are outside of the point system. So White Rabbit is Friction and Weak Casper of the same, and then AIPX Gaming's Laxstar comes over. Slayer's still their coach. Slayer's an NA guy, I'm pretty sure. So that's what we've got for all the expansion and minor regions. That should be telling you guys everything you need to know in regards to the roster changes to the main ones outside of NA and EU. Reason they're important is because we do have more spots being provided to Mena, 1 to SSA and stuff for majors. So we will see some of these names a bit more frequently. I don't want it to be a complete out of nowhere. So if you guys would like to stay up to date, I'm going to try to do a little bit more coverage for those. But the best thing you can do is pay attention to that sheet, because then at least you'll have results and a place to look at how they're performing throughout the season. So with that in mind, if you guys enjoy the content, like, subscribe, notifications, and we're going to go play some Enshrouded. It came out today. See ya. Peace.